If you're doing gender neutral parenting, gender creative parenting, what do you do when your kid is old enough to ask, hey, am I a boy or a girl? You and me already talked about this in the comments, but I thought it might make an interesting video because there's probably a lot of people with this question. You don't even need to be doing this parenting method to want to have sort of a more open-minded way to answer that kind of a question from your kid. And my answer here is actually pretty simple. I would just turn it back into a question. Ooh, it's windy out here. I might say, well, how do you feel? Do you feel like a boy, a girl, or maybe something else? How do you think we might figure that out together? Are you asking about how do you look on the outside, or are you asking about how you feel on the inside? Maybe we should go read a book about this together. I have some ideas. Do you want to go sit down and take a look? Maybe I would share how I know my gender identity. It's a question that gives you an opportunity to have a conversation, and that's a beautiful thing.
A girl baby doesn't change into a boy baby. And a boy baby doesn't change into a girl baby. And people don't change into animals, and animals don't change into people.
Mr. Rogers coming through with yet another based take. That poor guy is probably rolling in his grave right about now. And listen, he could see the writing on the wall way back then and started calling this stuff out. He was trying to warn us all, and unfortunately, nobody heeded his warning. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Listen, it is going to be a real quick and, yes, real crazy Clown World update. The reason being, it is so hot outside. It's 90 plus degrees, super humid. It is hotter than an Arkansas steamer bean.
Is this like an Arkansas type steamer bean?
And unfortunately, my air conditioner is still on the fritz. But I am going to try to plow through this video without succumbing to heat exhaustion because I do feel obligated to keep you guys updated on the happenings of Clown World. With that being said, I want to apologize for any annoying background noise that the microphone picks up, because my air conditioner is over there spitting and sputtering, and I do have my fan going on full blast, trying to blow around whatever little tiny bit of cool air the AC is still pushing out. So with all that out the way, let's get into it. Now, if you place your attention on the screen for a moment, here we have a picture of the modern day woman. The modern day woman. Now, I usually follow that up by saying stunning, brave, and beautiful. However, this fella added some descriptors himself. Now, he calls himself gorgeous, Gorjess, gorgeous. It says, she is confident, she is brave, she is herself. Hashtag transgender.
She's a man.
All right, next up, this is one of those Stitch TikToks where they use the beginning part and then stitch theirs onto the end of it. So this is once again another perfect ad for homeschooling. They're talking about unpopular teaching strategies that work. This might work if you're trying to create little activists. Roll it.
Stitch this with your unpopular teaching strategy that totally works, but people don't like it.
My students don't have grades or due dates. Because I work really hard to develop a pedagogy that is inclusive of neurodiverse students and students from marginalized backgrounds, I have to actively work to dismantle the power structures in my classroom. And one of the ways I do that is by taking away both grades and due dates. I find that when you give students your trust and say, hey, we have these things to accomplish, but you are going to be able to determine how and when you accomplish that. And as long as you do the things, you're going to pass a class. I get students that are more engaged. I get students that ask more questions and do deeper learning and higher level thinking. And I end up with a classroom that overall functions much better and more equitably than the traditional classroom structures.
No offense, but it sounds like some f***ing commie gobbledygook.
So that teacher kind of reminded me of the person in the first TikTok we saw in this video. Both extremely irresponsible adults. The teacher wanted to dismantle power structures in the classroom, so he's just going to let his students run roughshod and do whatever they want. Well, the parent in the first TikTok said, I'm going to one-up you and let my kids decide if they want to be a boy or a girl. Or neither or both. Okay. Anyway, next up. So this is an oldie but goodie. I think I played this clip in a video over a year ago, but it's making its rounds on the interwebs again, and it is definitely worth watching one more time. Roll it.
phrases like people with penises or people with vaginas, rather than saying male and female or men and women. While this can absolutely be inclusive for trans people, unfortunately it's not always the most inclusive language for intersex people. My advice is to use language that focuses on function and not just form. That means focusing on the actual function that you're talking about, such as people who can get pregnant, people who can get other people pregnant, people who are at risk of testicular cancer, and so on and so forth. This is much more inclusive because there are intersex people who are born with a vagina but don't have a uterus or ovaries or an ability to menstruate. This is because some people that are born with a penis don't have testes. So it's much more inclusive to say what you actually mean.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
All right, real quick before we go any further, I just wanted to let you guys know that if you're enjoying the videos, you like the content, you want to help support the channel, grabbing one of these t-shirts is a great way to do it. Here we have my favorite design, Teach ABCs, not LGBTs. Now this t-shirt is a great way to let people know that you are fed up with these teachers indoctrinating our kids with this propaganda. It is time for us to stand up and take the rainbow back. Plus, you get a comfortable t-shirt out of the deal. Now there will be a link to the t-shirt in the description box below, and a link is also going to pop up on the screen at some point during the video. There's also a couple other very cool designs you can check out as well.
Nice, very nice.
All right, next up. So we have this gentleman who identifies as a proud liberal. Freely admits it, no qualms about it. He is a proud liberal. Oh, listen, guys, I do apologize. I am having some technical difficulties. I don't know if you guys can see it on your end, but my screen keeps glitching, and it wasn't bad a minute ago. It's progressively getting worse. I don't know if it's my Wi-Fi. I don't know if it's the heat. I don't know what the hell's going on. Oh, there it goes again. If it gets any worse, I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish the video. Oh, my whole screen just went blank. Damn it. Oh, hang on. I think we are, yes, back in business. Perfect. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what the hell just happened. Like I said, my screen started glitching, then everything went completely blank for about 10 seconds, then just popped right back on. So I'm not sure what you guys saw on your end, but I do apologize. Let's get back to the proud liberal. They should call him the angry liberal, because every one of these TikToks he does, he's always yelling and screaming and frothing at the mouth. This guy's blood pressure must be through the roof. Anyway, here he is defending trans people by saying all people are trans. Roll it.
Look at the word trans. It is short for something, right? Transitional, transpositional. There are two abstract poles of male and female. Sometimes there is a position in between. It is transpositional. Or people are trying to transition from somewhere in here to somewhere over here. So let's talk about trans if we're going to talk about trans. The human condition is nothing but trans.
I don't know what we're yelling about!
You begin as non-existence, you will end as non-existence. Everything in your waking life, from the moment you're born to the moment you die, is a transition from non-existence to non-existence. You begin as a zygote, you become an infant, you become an adolescent, you become an adult, you become elderly, you die. Every single day of your life is a kind of transition. You are literally transitioning from one identity, infant, to another, adult. And your skin, your hair, your organs, everything about you is transitioning every day. On top of which, every single one of us is trying to use our will and our power to adapt our life and circumstance to improve our happiness. All of us are trying to transition who we are into a place we feel more comfortable and happy. So why do these people get singled out for being something that's transitional when we're all transitioning? Anyone who takes Viagra is trans. You are transitioning from an impotent man. God, nature designed you to become impotent at some point in your life. You don't like it, so you take chemicals to alter your body and become a man with sexual functions.
You f***ing crazy, man. You sound insane. Do you realize that? You should be medicated.
All right, real quick before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsors of today's video. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen for your viewing pleasure, of course. The things you see in a Walmart parking lot. Anyway, we have 3 sponsors today, 3 amazing gentlemen. Today's video is being brought to us by Timothy Mason, Chris D from Texas, and our great friend Coda320. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for sponsoring today's video. Thank you so much for the generosity, love, and support. I truly, truly appreciate it. You guys are all amazing human beings. Now, if you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below, and I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. Let's just get this off the screen, please.
The is this?
Alright guys, we are going to be wrapping it up on this one because between the scorching heat, the computer glitches, and the brain aids, I simply can't take anymore. I know you guys can't take anymore either. But we are going to be wrapping it up with everybody's least favorite former Vice President, Joe Biden. Now, recently Joe Biden took a trip to Egypt for some kind of climate conference where he gave a speech that was every bit as embarrassing as you can imagine it was. What do we even say about this anymore? There's just nothing else to say. There's nothing else to say. So guys, things are clearly getting crazy out there. Please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time, love you guys. Peace. Roll the film, please.
In fact, the International Energy Agency recently concluded that our significant climate investment will, quote, help turbocharge turbocharge the emerging global clean energy economy. I was reading their quote, sorry.
A few moments later.
My friends, I came to the presidency determined to make the transformational changes that are needed, that America needs to make, and we have to do for the rest of the world, to overcome decades of opposition and obstacles of progress in this issue alone, to reestablish the United States as a trustworthy, committed global leader on climate. As I stand here before you, we've taken enormous strides to achieve that. But I don't stand here alone.
I hope the world can see now what's really going on out here, because it's getting ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. This is ridiculous, man. Ridiculous.
And you ain't black.